Here we go. We're about to get going. And a pall of blue.
Yeah, Johnson was bogging down all the way down the back of that straight. He didn't clear up at all, but Charlie King takes the lead. Mitchell Ball's got into second. Has he? Is that the red helmet? No, Mitchell Ball's down to fifth now, so that's the change.
Oh, somebody's into the lead ahead of Charlie King.
Yep.
Who's that? Is it Roth?
Oh, I hope so.
I think it might be.
They got personals going on.
Harvey, Charlie King's back into the lead.
Oh, there's Roth around the outside of him.
Oh,
nudge yet now. This is beef carried, and he's got on the inside. So Roth gets on the inside of King. This is beef carried over from the British National Championship. These two, lots of love lost. I'm sure they're very good friends, really. But it's a chance to open battle in a race where it's just about the race. There's no points to worry about. You can just go for it with Mitchell Ball in third.
This is brilliant. Harvey Roth. You know what? Charlie King has had a very, very dominant weekend. 3 heat wins, kind of unseen, unheard of. Very, very rare indeed. And here we go. Harvey Roth leading into Christmas for the second time. And who's that in third? Mitchell Ball.
Our sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. The Junction 6 man is right on the tail of Charlie King. Now, these 3 carters are very, very experienced with this TKM class. You can't forget Jack Ransom, Joseph Jacks, Tom Johnson and Will Clegane just behind them as well. Train of TKMs. But Harvey Roth, they're just waiting for the tyres to come on, Nick. They're not even where we need them. It's going to be going into the next lap when that's going to start happening and the carts are going to be where they want them.
Yeah, it's a case really now where King, he doesn't probably, he's obviously used to racing against Harvey Roth, probably not so used to racing against Mitchell Ball. Ball's showing some good speed. He's missed pace during parts of the race, but now the top 2 are just eking apart. And here goes King, go for the lead. Up the inside of Roth. Roth cuts back. Oh, there's been a bit of coming together there. And that's that Ball get up the inside of Roth, but the main winner out is King, and they're running together side by side. Up there, and he goes Roth again and takes King's. No, you're not saying. Where's Mitchell Ball going to come out of all this?
Well, you know what, Nick? I pretty much firmly.
King's back in the lead.
He is, but Mitchell Ball's about to take second place. All the way around the outside goes Roth. This is all about the day, isn't it? It's all about this final. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carts who were squabbling over the same 1 metre square piece of real estate. It's starting to get very intense, and Harvey Roth needs to compose himself and not allow Mitchell Ball behind him to start delaying him by having to defend. He needs to catch Charlie King. Charlie King's been and now done the job and gotten to where he needs to be. We've still got 9.5 minutes.
Well,
We've still got 9.5 minutes of this.
Yeah, Tom Johnson made 2 places in that lap, and he's now right on the tail of Mitchell Ball in that 42. He's the black and grey cart, the 4th of those ones running round. It's the green machine, though. Charlie King, who's mostly only had fresh air on his face for the last few races, still has that. We've lost the cart. I can see it being dragged in. I think he had a bit of a moment, actually, at pit bend. I'll tell you who it is when I can see the number. Well, probably Alexander Lehman, I think, or it might be Jack Ransom.
We've got something going on.
It's the 27. It's the 27. Jack Ransom had a crash on at pit bend. He's now been rescued. Now, King pulling away. Last time round it was 0.338 of a second. Side by side, and the Mitchell Ball. Oh, touchy. And then that's going to be a little bit aggressive. I'm not sure how the steward's going to see that one. But what happened was Ball lost a bit of momentum, and suddenly Tom Johnson's got a chance. Yeah,
well, Mitchell Ball was all about momentum once again out of crooks. Now, if that's going to happen, the next lap and the next lap and the next lap, Charlie King's just going to check out, because he seems to have done that. The gap was 0.3 of a second across the line last time by. It's a lot larger than that, and that was down to these two going side by side. Harvey Roth has got Mitchell Ball right with him. Mitchell Ball has got Tom Johnson right with him. And then look, not that far behind is Joseph Jakes. So as they cross the line now, 5 laps completed. King, Roth, Ball, Johnson, Jakes, Cregeen, Phillips. That's down to 7th. Pretty much nose to tail. It's settled down a bit, hasn't it? Just under 8 minutes remaining. Still, anything can happen. But whether anyone can catch Charlie King, I'm not so sure. He's had this pace all day long in the heat.
Top 5 car by a second and a half, and despite that kind of scuffing together, he lost 0.2 that time round Harvey Roth. So Roth, I think he's getting closer again. So whether Roth actually in clear air can slowly slide his way onto the back of Charlie King, Mitchell Ball perhaps might be wise to actually to think about the people touching their helmets in their head. But let's work together. Let's close this gap between first and second. Now, actually, what's happening now is Roth is bridging the gap himself and slightly leaving Mitchell Ball behind. Yeah, the lead went down by 0.06 of a second that time.
Yeah, we've got 46.420 by King, 46.355. So lap times, now that Roth has broken free from Mitchell Ball, he's able to settle in and chase off after Charlie King. And last time by, it was Harvey Roth who was the quickest kart on the track that time.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know whether King is in control mode. Obviously, this is one of the points where it really is much easier to chase because you've got a target and you can really push against that target. King is chasing against the imaginary amount of grip he may have or not have and where he wants to be. So he's running on instinct, whereas Roth is running on pure hunter mentality.
Yeah, I've always found it's easier to chase than be chased. Story of my life.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you were never chased.
6.5 minutes. 6.5 minutes then. Charlie King, I'm going to say in control of this TKM final. He kind of is. However, it's control absolutely on the limit. He can't hold back. There is no holding back now. And you can see there, Harvey Roth closing the gap. The gap was half a second last time by. I'd go so far as to say that's a lot closer than half a second.
I don't think so. I think that actually is just the foreshortening of
the
slow part track. Because what actually happened was King managed to get a few hundredths last time round. I think that's pretty much equidistant to where it was the previous lap. I think that it's an interesting gap. That half second is not going to give much any aero effect for Roth chasing King across the line now. Is it half a second or is it a bit less? It's half a second. It was saying within about 100.
Yeah. There's very little difference. A couple of hundredths here or there. He just needs to get a little bit closer to start picking up that toe, doesn't he? These things do produce a bit of toe. The slipstream effect does come in at the circle speeds we're seeing on the way up to Christmas Corner. So that will come into effect. And both of these drivers now absolutely on the edge, aren't they? Having to drive so perfectly. The slightest mistake.
Much better now, much closer. Ross, not even sure where that came from. Was it a little error by King?
I didn't see any. I was just marveling at the fact that these guys are just absolutely on the edge. And as I say, that King, that gap of half a second is not half a second, is it? Let's see what it is.
2 or 3 tenths, I think, at
it's
most.
3 tenths.
Yeah.
0.288.
Now, it must have been either a micro error or suddenly Harvey found the greatest run ever through Parker and Chapman. So, but you hit a curb, you lose a bit of drive, and that is 0.1 of a second, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And that effectively, the gain in that lap was just 2 tenths.
It's through Ingerman's, it looks like, where he gains a little bit. Then Ashby, he stays there. This is where he kind of closes up. Look at the momentum he's got there.
He didn't
that time. No,
he went wide, had to correct.
Charlie King was tidier, wasn't he? And look at that. That shows, doesn't it? Into the boot. It'll be 10 laps completed this time by. Still 4 minutes. So the final third of this final coming up next.
Good lap for Charlie King, this one.
46.348.
Saying that, he lost 1,000 a second, didn't he?
Yeah, 46.348 for Charlie King. 46.347.
Got the slipstream really obvious there. He got the drive and the slipstream. They now nose to tail as close as they could be without getting a nose penalty. Can Roth get down the inside into Ashby? He's trying it. He's gone for it, and he's got it. King, I think, thought about blocking, thought about it, thought, no, the biggest chance there is just both going off. But now, it's in many ways advantage King because he can now chase, he can now follow. He's not even going to wait a couple of corners. He's already the choking of the engine, the radiator cover coming down. That's the confidence of Roth. He knew that he could hold King back down the short straight, and now here he goes.
There's no radiator covers. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe a little bit of mixture.
I don't know.
Yeah. A bit of choke.
Don't ruin the magic.
No, I'm not. It's Harvey Roth. Wow. Look at the gap. He's got a half a kart's length. Charlie King.
Backing it in.
You know what? In a championship round, Harvey Roth wouldn't have been as quick to get past him maybe. He would have maybe waited a couple of corners, but he knew he's got momentum. He's going to make the move. And Charlie King now, I get the feeling with 3 minutes of this final still remaining, I get the feeling that Charlie King, it's going to be a bit like NASCAR. Nobody wants to lead across the line going into the final lap.
Check over the right-hand shoulder. Yep, he's still there, mate. I would think you'd be able to hear him when he's that close.
Yeah, you would think so. I think he will.
And then coming down to begin. They've got at least four or five laps to go.
They've got miles
and
to
go. A good 200th of a second gain there for Roth over King. But now the slipstream works in King's favour. Is King going to try a hop out? Bit too far back, and under the braking, the kart snakes. That green kart, or greenish kart, the driver has a green helmet, snaked under braking into Christmas Corner. Now up to Ashby, which has been more a strength of Roth so far. And then this kind of Parker and Chapman complex, they both had problems and had too much curb initially there going in from Roth, but he's had to go slow. Now theoretically, if you can get the drive, but he actually got the drive, but all he did was drive in the back of him.
Well, he's having to defend Nick. He's having to defend Nick. I'll get my eardrums back next. He had to defend, and so he was offline. So when he went on the brakes, he's on a dirtier line, and he's also having to scrub off more speed. Less than 2 minutes remaining. This is where the pressure's going to be mounted. This is the drag. Rolls are reversed. Charlie King in the slipstream. Harvey Roth on the inside. Moves out to the middle of the track. Christmas corner. Very, very fast. Not as slow as you think. Now look at the way that Harvey Roth has got to drive. He's going to leave the door wide open, and Charlie King is going to struggle to squeeze through it because Harvey Roth is not going to make it easy. Defensive line into Parker. Defensive line into Chapman. If Charlie King can use his head, which he is there, he can gauge that entry into the boot. But look at that, Harvey Roth having to go down the inside of the left-hander. He then covers the door into the right-hander, loses momentum, and Charlie King, if he's not careful, is going to have enough speed to pull alongside.
But what about final minute? What about Tom Johnson? They've been brought back into this by the defensive tactics of Harvey Roth. Harvey is great. The only problem is there's now 4 carts fighting the TKM final. They're all over the place, splaying across. Harvey again, looking a bit, and coming around, looking a bit wobbly under braking, but managed to stop it. Look, in fairness to Charlie King, he is looking for a clean overtake, and this is going to be it. Go out wide. No, switch back.
Nick, this is going to end in tears. This is going to end in tears. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Johnson takes this up.
Look at Ball. Ball's going to get second.
Squeezing into second there.
That's a fourth.
Tom
King's
Johnson into third.
King's in fourth.
King's now in fourth. Harvey Roth going towards. I don't think it's going to be one lap to go aboard this time, by.
No, they'll get two more.
It's going to be two more laps. Now Harvey Roth has got Mitchell Ball and Tom Johnson behind him, and Charlie King's thinking, what's going on here? What's going on? So Harvey Roth leads. Penultimate lap they're on now. It's all going to kick off. I can just feel it in me water. It's all going to kick off now. Up towards Christmas. First, second, third and fourth. Turn in. Through the kink towards Inkermans. Using all the curb. Everyone will do that. Absolutely do that. Down to Ashby. Leaving the door open. Johnson on the inside. This contact. This is going to help Harvey Roth if these two can come together. Look at the gap he's created there. Yeah. Look at the gap that Mitchell Ball and Tom Johnson coming together has created as Tom Johnson
second.
Down the inside of Mitchell Ball. And who's that alongside? Charlie King.
Moving into third.
So Charlie King now in third, but Tom Johnson is now in second. But look at the gap that Harvey Roth's got. Harvey Roth is going to go into this last lap with a gap of, please update. Give me the times. Please give me the times. Half a second. Of all the times to be slow, my timing screen was slow there, creating the tension. Half a second is the gap into Inkermans for the last time. The TKM, the senior TKM O-plate, is staring Harvey Roth in the face. He's got a few more corners to go. This is Parker, the left-hander. This is Chapman, another left-hander. And then the short straight towards the boot. We're getting towards the final few corners. We're getting towards the final few corners of the day for these TKMs. And into the boot for the final time. He's only got to put his foot in and take one more corner. And it's going to be Harvey Roth that takes the O-plate for TKM. Unbelievable action here. Harvey Roth takes the O-plate. Tom Johnson second. Charlie King, the winner of all 3 heats, has taken third place, and he's wondering what happened there.
Harvey, that was some exceptional driving there. Great defence. Talk us through it from the start. How did you get on?
Well, it was good at the start. I was trying to stay in the lead because, first off, hats off to Charlie. He's been unstoppable all weekend. I thought I've just got to be in front of him. He overtook me and I was a bit behind. I just pushed as hard as I could, managed to get the move done, and then started defending a bit early, but it's what I had to do to hold him off, and it worked.
You did look like you had a gap on him for a little bit. Were the tyres going off mid-session in there?
Yeah, so I think we were just a bit too high on the pressure, started going off a bit towards the end, and I was getting very tired as well. It's quite hot, but it's what it is.
You are the TKM O-Plate champion. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.